Good morning, good morning. It's 2:50 a.m. It's June 24th, Thursday. I think it's Thursday, June 24th. And I am on my way, got my bike in the back. We have a 2-mile ride ahead of us, or 2-hour ride ahead of us today. So that should be very interesting. I'm one of those people. You don't have to tell me a whole lot of times, especially if it's something that will benefit me. You can make mention of the level of growth that it will give to me, and there's a good chance that I will execute it flawlessly. Whether it's getting advice on how to build my real estate business, whether it's getting advice on how to be more healthy, how to exercise, how to train for an Ironman, how to train for a marathon, how to that's crazy, I said an Ironman and a marathon, and some of the other crazy stuff that I never thought that I would do. A wall of accomplishments in life. I love it. But I gravitate, is what I'm saying. I gravitate towards information that will help build me, the man that I am, the father that I am, the husband that I am, the type of person that I am. And the one thing that I've heard that is probably the hardest thing to implement is to do things for others, but do it with no expectation. You know, if somebody says, and I'm gonna be correcting this camera every once in a while, if somebody says, let me borrow $50, and you say, all right, I'll let you borrow this $50. When are you gonna pay me back? Pay you back next Thursday at 3 o'clock when I cash my check. All right, got it. Here's your $50. Right? That's not an unheard of success. That's not something that you should not expect back. There was an understanding. Hey, I'll give you this money on these terms. Okay, I agree. But how many times do we do something for somebody else and we don't have those same terms laid out? Hey, listen, I'm gonna buy you a coffee today, but tomorrow you owe me a coffee. Matter of fact, I would say that it's the exact opposite. I would say that we say, hey man, I'm gonna get you a coffee. And the person says, all right, cool, yeah, I'll pay you back. I'll get you a coffee later. And we say, no, don't worry about it. So the person says, okay, I ain't worried about it. The next day you see them get a coffee, and they didn't bring you one back. Consciously, you remember what you said. Subconsciously, you're wondering why they didn't return the good deed. And we do that. I do that. Because consciously, I really mean, don't worry about it. Subconsciously, I'm saying, treat me as I treat you. You might be like, well, why didn't you just say, hey, I buy you a coffee, you get me one back? Because for some unknown reason, we're not wired to do that. We want people to just assume the position that we've mentally, subconsciously put them into. And when they don't assume it, then we get offended, we get hurt. We post stuff on Facebook all the time talking about, I'm always doing stuff for other people, but nobody is there for me when I need it. Well, who told you to do that for them? Did you do it with a written understanding? Hey, I'm going to do this, you return this back to me, because that's a deal. And if somebody didn't fulfill their obligation on the deal, that's different than having an expectation that you never once said anything about. One is legally binding. The other one is psychologically in your head. I'm guilty. So the most profound thing that I remember anybody ever telling me is, don't have any expectations. Because when you have an expectation that's not written out, that's not, if you get married and you say, all right, now listen, and I'm good at this one. Hey, listen, I'll marry you, but I need you to cook, clean, have 4 kids, take care of them, fold my laundry, and make sure I have food out every day. Now, before you get married, if you lay those expectations out and the other person says, no problem, good, done deal, turn the contract around, give them a pen and say, here you go, I just need you to sign off on this. But we don't do that. Hey, I got you, I'll pay for the coffee. Yeah, let me pay you back. Nah, don't worry about it. What you're really saying is, treat me as I treat you. And when we fail to communicate that verbally, and that expectation isn't fulfilled, because in our action, we're showing what we want. Hey, I just want somebody to pick up my coffee every once in a while. But the other person heard, don't worry about it. Expectation. When the expectation is not met, with what you felt like it should have been met and dealt with, you feel like you've been let down. And in all due reality, the only person that let themselves down was you. Because you had an unspoken, unwritten expectation. It's very rare a person will get your coffee. And I think that's why people, when they're in line at Starbucks, they'll say, hey, let me pay for that person's coffee behind me, because they know that they can do a good deed for a complete total stranger. No words are ever exchanged, and they can develop that no expectation situation. Because if you think that you're going to get in line at Starbucks tomorrow because you paid for the person behind you's drink today, and that tomorrow you'll get that same treatment in return, that's a long shot. I mean, it could happen. I believe one good turn deserves another. I'm just saying, to have an expectation on something that extreme, that's a long shot. Do the right thing, yeah. But an expectation on something like that, yeah. Not sure. So I'll take this advice and I'll give it to you. Do yourself a huge favor. I'm not saying don't expect people to be nice, but don't expect people to be nice because you're nice. You should expect people to be nice because people should be nice. But don't expect it like, hey, you owe me this. Because when you do that and you get let down because you have this unspoken expectation, well, that becomes an error on your behalf with your thinking.